Hi there, and welcome to Conversations Worth Your While, the podcast where we dive into real, meaningful conversations with heart-led experts who bring wisdom and insight and a whole lot of humanity to the table. Together, we explore ideas that spark growth and shift perspectives and help you live and lead more fully, both personally and professionally. Today, we're going to be talking about tapping into your knowingness, the wisdom beneath your knowledge. And this conversation is worth your while because your knowingness is that quiet wisdom beneath your knowledge, the part of you that sees clearly, that understands deeply, and that guides you wisely. Most of the time, however, we're simply unaware. But when awareness awakens, so does caring. And when you care, you act. So, right now, the world is calling us to rise, to return to kindness, compassion, and conscious creativity. And this episode will help you reconnect with what you already know to be true and invites you to move from knowing to aligned action. So I'm Linda Bucher, and honestly, I have the best job in the world. I help people to get unstuck. That is my superpower. I help high potential, multi passionate humans just like you to find your superpowers, to get to that next level and get out the most out of life. But not just for you, but it's because what you're here for. You're here to make a bigger difference in the world. And you can't do that until you know exactly what that difference is. And it's your responsibility, and I will help you uncover that. I am a transformational speaker and a master certified life coach who sees your bigness, who awakens your inner fire, and unleashes what you were born to bring. But before any of that happened, I was a chameleon living like the first 45 years of my life trying to be what the world needed me to be. While quietly like feeling like a victim of circumstance. I know what it's like to be there. But everything changed when I stopped chasing someone else's version of success and when I started showing up as who I really am. Because when you do that, you know what happens? You get to align your life with your truth, with your values, and with your gifts. I did it and I've never looked back. So this journey, it not only transformed my life, but it fueled my mission. And so now it's my honor to help others break free from what's holding them back, to step fully into who they are and unleash their brilliance into the world. I mean you. Okay, so if that sounds like something cool, head on over to lindabucher.com. There's just a bunch of goodness there waiting for you. Okay, back to today's show, tapping into your knowingness, the wisdom beneath your knowledge. Today, I have the pleasure of being joined by Sara Troy of selfdiscoverywisdom.com podcast. And Sara is making big, beautiful ripples in the world, helping people to tap into their knowingness. So, Sara, hi, thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
You're welcome. Okay, can you tell us a little bit more about what you do, who you serve, these beautiful ripples that you are making in the world?
Uh, whom I serve is anybody that is at a crossroads in life and kind of got that big question mark. Who am I? Where am I going? What am I here for? What is my true calling or my meaningful purpose? And I do it through sharing the stories and the wisdom, like yourself, who is also on my network. So people have to come over and listen to your show as well. Um, and it's about your journey that you share with others that inspires others to see more illumination on their own path. It's not just a question that you've done it, which there's already an inspiration because inspiration begets invitation. But it's like, how did you do it? I resonate with that. You were there. I could be here. It's an invitation to take their own journey because of that inspiration.
Mm, that is such a beautiful thing. I think there's so many people, and I have even one of my kids going through this, trying to figure it out cerebrally,
Mhm.
trying to figure out what is my step, what am I supposed to be doing in the world cerebrally. And when you don't recognize that everything you need, everything you need to know, it's already all inside you. You
Yes,
just gotta like illuminate it. But
exactly. Switch the light on, pay attention to it. And we think too much and we
oh,
don't we don't feel our knowledge.
mm,
And wisdom is the feeling of the knowledge. It's the connection of the mind, the heart, the soul, the spirit, the body, when everything feels right. And that's when the mind has its clarity. That's when you know what you need to know when you need to know it. If we think it, there's always a yes, but, yes, but. So we sit on our butt and we be still and we be present and we allow that wisdom to come through us and feel it. And then it will be revealed what your next step is.
Yeah, I totally agree. So what gets in the people's way is this thinking, right? Because they first of all, they have the misbelief that which it's totally false that the answer is outside of you.
Mm-mm.
Everyone's answer is unique to them because we're each here for something unique, some unique way to serve, be of service in this world.
Yeah.
To give, we've got unique gifts, and we can give our unique gifts in only our own unique way. Someone else's way is that trips us up. It trips us up as it trips me up as a business owner.
Mm.
I got suckered in, and then I go, okay, stop that. That one size fits all, someone else's way is their way. It's not my way.
Yes.
So every time I chase believing, every time I believe someone else knows better, I stall my purpose. I get in its way. And for people who don't even know what their purpose is, thinking there's a purpose, I'm gonna see what everyone else is doing and then see if
Yeah.
that fits. That's not how we come to the answer.
No. And that's not the knowledge we're trying to ignite. What we want to do is that you're inspired by somebody, who they've become, the journey they've taken, what they stand for. That ignites something inside of you. Well, what do I stand for?
Mhm.
Right? What is my accountability? What are my gifts? Every single one of us is given a gift. I draw the analogy is get to know what your instrument is. Learn to play it well. As a soloist, you can play it beautifully. However, when you join an orchestra and each one in your own strengths come together harmoniously, you are transcendent. And we are all looking for our orchestra, but we must master our own gift first. And that is, I'm inspired by what you do. I'm inspired by what you say. I resonate with what you're saying, right? But where is it inside of me? What is it ignited? How do I see that in me? Not to copy you or compare or compete, but
Right.
to see an image of that must be in me too. How do I find it? What journey do I need to take to make that self discovery?
I love that. Yeah, I think a lot of people aren't doing enough of
Mm.
listening to others. Like what you're doing in your podcast is so beautiful. Illuminating the stories of other people because we, naturally, when you listen to a story or watch a movie or whatever, you're always identifying with the
Yes,
character, right?
yes,
So in that identification of someone else's story is some of the information that can't come to light any other way, right? This is the way it's supposed to come to light.
mm-hmm,
So I think that's just a beautiful way in.
mm-hmm,
I even know, like, a lot of people think, oh, I have to get, you know, coached to figure out to find the answer, right? But what I'll tell you, when I was going through my coach training, one of the most beautiful things that happened was there was this part of our training was called Coach the Coach. We as coach cadets had to coach other coach cadets. We didn't know what we were doing. We were trying out our tools, right? And then
navigating.
yeah, exactly. Then the instructor, like one of the master coaches, would stop us and they wouldn't course correct us.
Mm,
What they would do is ask questions about our wisdom, like, where do you want to go that you're afraid to go as the coach?
mm,
Right. So, tapping into what we already know, right? Like, well, I wanted to ask this, but like they're like, you're unsure, so you're circling. Try out your hypothesis. Like they would course
mm,
correct you. So when you're the coach, okay, that's great. You're listening, you're getting this feedback from the master coach when you're the coach cadet doing the coaching, and you're learning. But all of the other coaches on the call are also going, oh, yes,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
where am I circling? So by experiencing someone else or witnessing someone else's experience,
Yes,
we ask ourselves that question. So where am I doing that?
yeah,
Right? Or how could I take that and make that better? Or like, wow, that even like I might be as the cadet coach coaching someone else, and then they say something that leaves them very raw and vulnerable, and other people in the call are like, oh, I'm so vulnerable in that place too. It's a
sheds
gift.
lights on it.
Yes, it's a gift
Yes,
to
yes,
witness someone else, moving through and
mm-hmm.
being vulnerable and sharing their story.
Yes, because when you relate, then it becomes something of like, oh my God, I do that. Oh, I thought that way. Ah, is that what my blockage is? Oh, I have never seen it from that perspective. One of the things I advocate is people having, they have book clubs I advocate for podcast clubs.
Oh,
Everybody listen to a podcast at the same time, take notes, and then share what each of you got afterwards, because everybody would have had a different perspective.
right.
And now you're sharing a rounder picture, a
Oh,
bigger picture. And how impactful is that?
oh, I love that. Did you start one of those? You should start one of those.
No, I encourage people to start one of them. I'm too busy to start one. I'm encouraging people to take these shows and do that. Have a girlfriend, boyfriend, have a gathering, glass of wine, cup of coffee, whatever you want to have. Listen, take notes. I guarantee. I have a motto on my shows: listen, learn, and apply.
Mhm.
Right? When we listen, there's something there that we've learned. When we learn that, what is it for? Just to know for the sake of knowing? No, it's for you to apply, right? Because that's what it's about. That's why we're doing this. We want to share something that you can apply that helps you on your journey of life,
Right.
right? So proactiveness is something that's really important.
Okay, so that's a great segue. Let's talk a little bit more about tapping into our knowingness.
Mhm.
How, right?
Mhm.
Because listening to a podcast is beautiful,
Yes.
right? But how do they apply? How do they do this?
Pretty well you'll find in my theme, no matter what we're talking about, whether it's business, spirituality, health, children, veterans, music, the common theme about is centering ourselves, having a place to go home to, the inside. And the universe, God, universe, spirit, source, energy, whatever you wish to call it, is always coming through us, is always awakening. That's that wisdom, that soul wisdom that speaks, that resonates with the heart in truth, that gives given to the spirit in action for the mind to know the clarity it needs when it needs to know it. We can't find it if we're in angst, if we're in anger, or if we're in, we can't do it then. There's nothing, because it blocks your energy, it blocks your chi. You have to go and find what space for you is where you can be still. Now, you might be out riding a bike or out for a walk, but what place speaks to you from the inside out where you feel that deep breath? I can breathe. I can feel, I am aware. I feel my body aligned, my chakras are aligned. And now I just basically ask the universe, what do I need to know right now? Or I have this problem. Do not expect an Amazon delivery of information,
I
right?
love that.
It will come to you in whichever way it will come to you when it's meant to come to you. But if we're not paying attention or opening up our channels to receive, it could be knocking on our door saying, here's the answer. And you'll start chasing your tail, but, right? And it's like you can't find any solution in anxiety or chasing, or, it has to be calmness, stillness, being present with self. That's the gift of the now. And allow that wisdom to come through you. And also, please understand, it doesn't come, as you see on some movies, a full sentence, a full paragraph, or a full book. It may be just a title of a book. It may be something that somebody said on a show. It may be something that somebody said on a podcast, and suddenly it means something different to you.
Mhm.
That is what you're meant to know right now.
Right,
That is the information you're seeking. Now, what you're going to do with it.
right. Yeah, that's beautiful. So I know, um, I think a lot of people recognize that there's value in stillness.
Yes.
It's very difficult for many people to um, get that stillness. They don't prioritize it. They prioritize roles and responsibilities and
Mm-hmm.
doing over being.
Yes. Yes.
And that is what perpetuates this being on the treadmill. I don't know the answer. I'm not sure what to do, right? Because it's the answer is not somewhere outside of you. And the
Mm-mm.
only way to find it is to be still with yourself. But I love that you brought up stillness doesn't mean you have to sit in the lotus position and be chanting the word om.
Hurry up, I haven't got all day
Right. It's
meditation.
really about giving yourself time and space. That's
Yes.
how I put it, time and space. I recognize when I need time and space because not only might I feel more aggravated about things than usual.
Yeah.
But I can feel it in my body. Our
Yeah.
bodies are huge vessels of let's call them like compasses.
Yes. Oh, yes. 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 Yes.
So I
Yes.
feel it in my bottom and I'm like, okay, I know I need to give myself time and space. I need to back up from all the stuff
Mhm.
of doing and all the stuff I'm trying and all the problems I want to solve and back way up and give myself time and space. So sometimes it's just sitting out with my cup of coffee on the back patio, listening to all the birds. And I'm not always asking the big question.
No. No.
I'm just giving myself the time and space to not
Yes.
try to figure anything out,
Yeah.
just to be. And so stillness can be, like you said, riding a bike. It can be
Mm.
taking a walk. Like I took a walk through some trails this morning. I took a couple mile walk. Love it. And I just listening to how noisy the cicadas are,
Mm.
right? And then what I love to do is to use the animals or my experience
Yes.
as a metaphor. Like, okay, so these cicadas are underground for 17 years, and then they come up, and they're like, singing their song, like, hey, we're here. And, you know, like maybe I can use that as a question for myself as I'm walking through the woods. What have I kept dormant for a
Mhm.
lot of years that's ready to be sung now?
Yes. Oh, I like that. That's really nice. Can I add a tip for people who may have, because I have dyslexia and ADD.
Okay.
And so that means there's constantly a movie going on in my head, right? It never goes off. So what I have to do is give it a job. So I give it the mundane that doesn't need any thought because it's, being repetitive all the time. Then I actually listen to music. Music is scientifically proven to bring about your equilibrium, rebalance you. But I listen to that music, and in that music, I find my calmness. But my little chatterbrain is busy doing something else, right? And that keeps it because a lot of people say, but yes, but it never shuts up. Give it a job, give it something to do, right? Because it is hard for somebody with chatterbrain or ADD to be still and present. Because what we do is that's a lovely landscape. What if I painted that? Or a movie be over there, or this will be that over there. It is. I know it's hard because our brain is constantly going. So by keeping that busy, we can take that breath and just allow that scenery, allow that music, allow that something to come in and calm you and make you more present. And even the chatter starts calming down. But I have found you've got to make that busy so that you can be still. So that's a tip for anybody with ADD.
That's great. What kind of job do you give it?
Well, I mean, obviously, with editing all my shows, there's always something to do. So I create the show posting, I do the editing, I do everything, I do, so that is kind of stuff that is automated for me now. I can almost do it in my sleep. So I just give it that and do that type of thing while my creative source kind of opens up and is ready to receive. So, I mean, it could be housework,
Right.
right? Vacuuming, uh, whatever. A great thing to do is actually go into the shower, do some tapping, EFT, emotional freedom technique, and do some tapping while you're in the water because the water is an incredible conduit. And it's like every time I'm under the shower, wash away all my troubles, wash away all my anxiety, and I'm open and ready to receive all that is there for me.
Mhm.
And it's just setting yourself up. Find out what technique works for you, then repeat.
I love that. And that's kind of that's a discovery, which
Yes.
everything really is. It's not, I mean, our brains are like wonderful race cars. They will get us where we want to be, but
Yes.
they don't have a sense of direction on themselves by
No,
themselves.
no, no, no.
We have a GPS, and the GPS is not in our heads.
No.
A GPS is that that inner wisdom, that
Yes.
connection to our higher self, that shows us this is the way, and our body is the compass that shows us when we're off, right?
Yeah.
When we're getting off. And so I love um this discovery when you just try something and then you see
Hmm.
what resonates and what the feedback is. And I was talking with someone about this the other day. For people who are stagnant and waiting for this information to come to them, but they're stagnant, they're not still. There's a big difference.
Exactly,
Big difference,
exactly.
right?
Hmm.
And they're like waiting for, like you said, like the Amazon delivered to just drop.
Yeah.
Um, I tell them to, discovering the essence of who you are is the one of the most fundamental steps that you need to take, because that means moving attention out away from all that stuff outside of you and into yourself. And it's like that game of we played it when we were kids, getting warmer and getting colder. Um,
Yes. Hmm.
right, where someone would hide a toy, right? So you can think of it like, oh, they're hiding your purpose in this lifetime, in this room, in this, but it's hidden now, in the now.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
here. It's not a
Yes.
future. It's here now. But
Yes.
and if
It's
you
waiting
don't,
to be ignited.
exactly, and if you
Yes.
don't take a step, you
Mm.
won't get the feedback to tell you which way you should go next. Because
I have the
it's not
same for
about
that.
making a wrong step. Every
Hmm.
step in that game has a
Yes.
huge value. So the value of making a step is either you got the feedback from your body that was like, ooh,
Hmm.
you're getting
Hmm.
warmer, or no, getting colder.
Hmm.
So there's so much value because now you have a direction where you didn't before. You didn't take a step. You didn't have any direction. You took a random step. So it's okay. Take your first step as random. That's totally fine. And then take that feedback and say, oh, this felt like getting colder. I am going to go the other way now and
Hmm.
try something else.
Exactly.
And there's no failure. There's
No.
only getting warmer, because eventually you always find the toy in the room. You always, if
Yeah.
you keep stepping and you keep listening to this feedback, you
Mhm.
will discover what's meant for you to discover.
When you get out of your head and you trust your heart and your other wisdom, I say that first leap you take, right, is your first step.
Yeah.
And for me, I've got a saying, step out into the abyss, blind, deaf, and dumb, in order to see, hear, and feel.
Mm.
Right?
Oh,
There's trust in the knowingness. There isn't dictation. Now, knowingness, you've got to do this and do that. It is a surrender. It
mhm.
is surrender. This wisdom is far greater than you. It wants to use you as a vessel to do good, to serve this world. This is your purpose here. And it knows that you are a gift because it designed you as a gift, and it wants to ignite that gift, that instrument that you are. You're never going to find it if you're thinking it, dictating it, or ordering it. You're only going to find it if you surrender, feel it, and allow it to show you your path forward.
I love those words. I love surrender because it's so much more in alignment with ease and truth that
Mhm.
fight through it. So are you going to fight or are you going to surrender?
Yes,
Surrender
I never understand the war
overtakes
on peace. Go, what?
right. No, it's not that. Like it's like I get to take my foot off the gas.
Yeah,
Yes. That's surrender means.
yeah.
Surrender. And it doesn't, like, people have fear. This is the
Mm,
biggest obstacle to the stuff we're talking about is fear. What if? What if it doesn't work? What if I don't really have a purpose? What if I take my foot off the gas and my whole life goes to shit? What if? So let's address all the fears that
mhm.
maybe not all the fears. We don't have time for that. But let's
The
some
arm's
of the
length, yes.
fears. Yeah.
Oh God, which fear do you tackle first? I think, there's so many fears. The fear of looking like a fool, the fear of judgment, the fear of persecution, the fear of people, of rejection. I think those are the big ones because they kind of encompass a great deal. But I think when you stop living your life for somebody else's approval, somebody else's validation of you, somebody else saying good job, right? And you're living your life from the inside out. I know I've done well. I know I'm in my truth. I know I'm contributing. I know I'm enough. Then all those other type of fears start dropping away. Now, is it overnight? No. I'm 70. It took me a while to get there, right? And every now and again, one of those little fear things wants to pop up, and it's like, get the old hammer and knock it back down again. Why are you here? You don't belong. But it's something we have to be acknowledged. What is it are we afraid of? And most of it is that rejection, that persecution. I don't fit in. You're not meant to, right? You're a different instrument in the orchestra. All we want to do is see a synergy amongst you. This isn't compete and compare. You don't need to be somebody else. You are your beautiful, unique person. Stop worrying so much about that outside expectation and dictation of what you should be and have to be and this be and that be, and just trust the beautiful gift that you are on the inside. When you close the door on that, you will be revealed and you are enough and you know it.
Yes, that is the core, is knowing you're enough.
Yeah.
Because when you know it, I mean, I don't mean know it cerebrally. I mean,
No, know it.
right, right here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you know, like, oh my gosh, I am enough. Like when you know that,
Yeah.
then you stop people pleasing because you recognize that you don't need outside validation
No,
to know that you're enough. You know. And if the other people don't know, it's almost always a reflection of how they feel about their own
absolutely. Yeah.
value and worth and worthiness. And
And
so
that's their journey. Don't take it on.
exactly,
Don't
there's
even take on their opinion. Quite honestly, their opinion of you has got nothing to do with you.
nothing to do with you, not your business,
Not your
because
business.
it's rooted in their own fears and
Yes.
insecurities. That's where all their opinions come from. So until they get rid of their fears and insecurities, their opinions can't be truth. They're
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
fears and insecurities that are spewed out to somebody else. That's
Yes.
all they are.
That's all it is. And
Yeah.
you do not have to take it on. You do not, there is no one size fits all. You will resonate with someone that feels your energy, that's on your wavelength, that gets your vibe. Look for your vibe tribe, right? And when you find that, then you feel, oh, I'm amongst my people. We all get each other. We know how to support each other. But don't try and fit yourself into somebody else's square peg when you're around.
Exactly. Exactly. I totally agree.
Waste of energy.
Waste of energy. I know, completely, completely. Okay, so we're talking about knowingness. We're talking about how it's this quiet wisdom beneath our.
Mhm.
And when you tap into that knowingness, then you can be guided,
Mhm.
more wisely, right? You can understand it. And I love that you brought in, this, you know, we don't act until we care.
Yeah,
We don't care until we're aware, right? Um,
precisely. And
yeah,
half the time we have no idea what we're not aware of.
yeah, we don't know that. We don't know what we don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I know for some people, this will be like a, yeah, yeah, I'm not doing that. Whatever you say, that was interesting, but I'm not doing anything. And that just means that's okay. That just means you're not ready to receive this message today.
Right. Exactly.
That's okay.
Seeding has begun.
Absolutely. And it's really important. Let's talk about a little bit about our role in this world, right? And
Mm.
and returning to this kindness and this compassion and
Oh God.
right conscious
Boy, oh boy, do we need that. We cannot be kindness until we're kind to ourselves. We cannot know peace or love until we find peace and love within ourselves. We are a complete reflection. So if there's so much discontent in the world, it's because we're putting out discontent. And when we choose to put out peace, love, caring, compassion, consideration, collaboration, and come together as a village, we raise up our frequency, we raise up our consciousness, we raise up our good vibrations. And then that has a ripple effect and it invites people to see that in themselves. Because what you're doing is again that reflection, and it's like I know it's in there somewhere, and they see a little peak. I always say be careful what you plant, but also make sure you water and nurture it, and make sure it's not weeds, right?
yeah.
So and it's everything about ourselves is the more we take care of ourselves, honor ourselves, our heart, our soul, our very beingness, honor who we are. It's not about how many followers or how many people adore us. It's how do we value ourselves? Do people see you truthfully because you are being truthful? Do people see your heart and soul because you are heart and soul? It's not about doing, it's about being. And when you step into that, you will see the difference of the people around you, how they treat you, the arenas that open up to you, the beautiful people that will come into your life, things that you never saw before that suddenly you can see and appreciate and feel. But it all starts with you. And it starts first and foremost, be kind with yourself.
Mm.
Be patient as well.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. Yeah, a lot of times I'll use a little metaphor about as we as individuals elevate, which comes from getting to know yourself and your truth and honor that,
Yeah.
right? Know your worthiness, know yourself, know
Mhm.
your truth, and honor that. And what your values are, live those values.
Yes.
And when we do that, we elevate.
Hmm.
The fear a lot of people have is like, if I elevate, what about all the other people around me who I love and they love me and they're not elevating? And you
Okay.
mentioned
Hmm.
I love, it's
Hmm.
not, that's their journey. But
Exactly.
what I think people don't realize is you do not have to leave behind people who do not elevate.
Hmm.
In fact, you become a beautiful example
The
for them.
beacon of light.
And exactly. And maybe the reason you are elevating is for some of these people around you, for them to say, it's possible. You had maybe like I know you hear people's different stories, and some people have very, very, very difficult childhood
Yeah.
lives, right? And the ones who move through them enough to be able to tell their story and share it with the world, they are the most beautiful example,
Hmm.
the most beautiful example. I know,
Hmm.
I have a client who is very famous now and making beautiful ripples in the world. And he when we were working together, we started like in 2018 working together. And he was afraid to get his gifts out into the world at that point. Like he was keeping them small, right? He was just keeping them
Yeah.
small in his own way. And one of the most interesting things was that I had asked him, you know, like what's your personal mission, right? We want to know that, like personally, right? Like what's the thing you really like, if there's one thing you want people to know, what is it? And he said, if a gay, chubby black man from Texas can get here, so can all y'all.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
And that was just like, wow. Right. And then when he got a big giant break to be in front of about 9 million people a night on TV, and he called me, he's like, I don't know if I should say yes to this. I'm like, you remember the mission that you
Yeah,
out to
exactly.
everybody? Do you remember that? Your
Yeah.
mission was to like let the world know that they can be anything.
Anything
They
and
and they
anyone.
honor
Yeah.
their gifts, right?
Hmm.
Remember that?
Hmm.
He's like, oh yeah. I'm like, hello, the universe gave you this opportunity to do it. Now he does it all over the world, which is a very beautiful thing. So
And
we
that, and the thing that's so beautiful about that is, we've been conditioned as a society that you've got to look a certain way. You've got to be a certain way, and that is just somebody else's control. It's marketing, folks. It's all about sales, right? And the more they make you feel, the less, the more they are going to push cosmetics, plastic surgery, everything, psychiatry, everything on you, because it's a money-making thing. The more you stand in your own truth, this is me. I love me and what I'm here to do. No apology,
Mhm.
no apology at all. Take me or leave me, see my light or don't. I'm not afraid of rejection because that just means you're not ready to see me in my light, right? But I'm still going to shine bright for those that are. Own it, be it, do it.
Woo! Yes. Love that. Love that. Okay, well, Sara, this has just been such a beautiful conversation. Um, if someone wants more, like say someone wants to be on your podcast or
Mhm.
someone wants to, listen to other stories, right? That let this illumination happen through other people's stories. What can they do?
Well, obviously, you come to selfdiscoverywisdom.com and you'll find all of the shows on there. If you go to the tag that says podcasts, all of those banners there are genres. So you can pick a genre that you're looking for right now. Is it mental health, music, business, sensuality, spirituality, whatever it is you're looking for? And it's rather like a library. You don't always know what book you're looking for. Let the book speak to you, let a show speak to you, right? Look at the title, look at the person. Is this something that's intriguing? Be willing to make the discovery. It's not about snap. And also understand when my shows, they're an hour and a half, right? They're about peeling back that onion. They're about listen to it a few times because I guarantee every time you do, there's something else you're going to learn. These are people that have taken that journey and they're sharing that gift and that wisdom with you. So it is worthwhile having a podcast party and listening to it, or just listening yourself and taking it in. If you also go to the orchardofwisdom.org, O-R-G, that is where you will find the Be Our Guest tag, where you can click on that and just inquire about being our guest and what that entails. But it also invites you to be one of our authors. And for our next book, last year was our Forgotten Children book, an anthology on the raising of our children, all that's wrong there. And the next book is our Forgotten Senior. So I'm looking for senior authors right now that want to contribute in that, where we will share their beautiful gifts and triumphs, their challenges, and their wisdom to the young people how to prepare for their seniorship. So you can be a guest, come and be an author, have a podcast party, and whatever you like. But please partake. This is a buffet. Come in and partake.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I will be sure to put the information about those things into the show notes so listeners can just find that and click through from there.
And don't forget to come and listen to Linda's show, right? And we're going to dive into her why and why she's doing what she's doing and why it's so important. And you know you're going to get a whole nuggets of information and wisdom there. So all you have to do is put in her name into the search engine on selfdiscoverywisdom.com and her show page will come up.
Awesome. Thank you for that little plug. All right. So, okay. Thank you again. All right. That is our show. Once again, I'm Linda Bucher on a mission to inspire and impact millions of people to know their worth, to share their gifts, and deliberately create big, beautiful ripples in this world. So if you're finally ready to get unstuck and get the most out of your life and make that difference you're here to make, head on over to lindabucher.com because that's a great first step. And if this episode sparked something in you, be sure to like it, subscribe to the podcast, and share it with someone that you care about. Come back next week for another honest, uplifting conversation to help you grow. So until next time, make sure that you've made this conversation worth your while by fueling the spark that it ignited.